everyone. Today I'm going to review a book and talking about a topic in a single video. Today I'm going to talk about a book called Robots and things about robots. Let's start with the first question. What is a robot? A robot is often human-like, a human-like machine, I think. Yeah, like a machine, which works, which do things the people don't want to do or can't do it. So when you talk about the word robot, you might think about a blinking, walking, robot-talking metal person. Some robots really do like people, but others don't. Robots come in almost every shape, size, from as small as an atom to as big as a house. They can do lots of things that people can't or don't want to. Take a look at this little mini robot that I built out of Lego. It's just a model, it's not a real thing. It doesn't work at all. Okay, you can see what the robot looks like. Okay, so talking about the parts of the robot, you may think about the transportation part. Robots can go on a lot of kinds of transportation, like on tracks. There are some zigzag tracks on the robot's legs, and those robots who has tracks are often those robots like Curiosity on Mars, discovering planets. They have tracks so that they can move slowly. Some robots have wheels, like mine. They have wheels which can allow them to go more quickly than on tracks. Oh, sorry, my sister is just crying. Never mind. So they can go on tracks, they can go on wheels. But they can also go on legs. Robots with legs can step like normal people. They can walk, they can run like us. Sometimes they can jog too. Some robots has 2 legs, others has 4. Well, robots can have 8 too, like spider. Okay, so we know the transportation part. Let's look at our mini boat, a robot again. It has some eyepiece here. What is this thing? Most robots has sensors, which allows them to touch, to see, to hear, and to feel. For example, robots who has eyes, artificial eyes, not real eyes. Those cameras on the place where the eyes should be are usually robots which needs to work in prisons and taking pictures like those robots on Mars. And also they need to take pictures for their robotists, people who make robots, so that the robotists can discover new things. Yep. Sometimes there's a microphone on the robot's body so that it can hear us. This microphone records the things, the sound which surrounds the robot. And sometimes the robot has the sense to touch the feel, so it can know which is hot, cold, rough, sharp, and smooth. It's just like the real thing. And also there are robots which did a lot of things. For example, robots who carry patients, waiters, robots, rescuers, maybe some robots can play sports too. Like every year, the Now robots gather together and play soccer. A football match, yeah, like a soccer match. And then the robotists, if their robot team loses, they have to build more things to a robot. And they have to improve the robot so it doesn't break out like those robots which they built 50 years ago. Yeah. But the idea of the robot is actually from ancient Greece by a poet named Homer. He describes some people some people with metal parts on their body, just like robots, yeah. And there are lots of kinds of robots too. You may think of the human kind, but there are also a dog kind. You don't believe this? Well, let me show you. Well, I think that there's a robot called LSB. This robot is being designed for the U.S. Army to carry packs, like backpacks, heavy packs for the soldiers. This robot has legs, exactly like a dog, but it doesn't have a face like a dog. There are other kinds of robots too, like there are robots shaped like ladybugs, robots shaped like gecko lizards. They can really crawl like that, like the real thing. There's a robot called Cyro, which moves through water just like a jellyfish. There's a thick layer of squishy material, I think, called silicone, which covers the robot. So it looks exactly like the real jellyfish. Now, speaking of jellyfish, some robots can explore the deep ocean floors, where others flow into space. This is a very, very good thing. Some other robots, which looks like kids in an astronaut suit, helps elderly people to for their house chores. These robots are keeping to being improved. Some robots can give the elderly people his or her things when he or she can't move around. Or sometimes, I think most of your houses have this. Sometimes robots are shaped like a round circle which moves around like a vacuum cleaner. But my house has one robot like that, and it's called my pet. Yeah, it's my pet. It's called Pet. So it works perfectly for a pet. Wow, this pet moves around the house like a real vacuum cleaner, except that it moves on its own. It doesn't need my mom to push it around. It moves on its own wheels. on its transportation part. And this guy moves around the house like he owned it. He has a camera. It's a camera on his eyes, so he can sense around and make a map of the house immediately. He doesn't get bumps. He doesn't bump into things. But sometimes you have to be careful with robots, vacuum cleaner robots, or they will suck up your precious certificate, or swallow whole a plastic bag. You have to be careful if there's a vacuum cleaner robot around. There are also robots who mows lawns, and robots who helps other things too. Well, I think we are getting pretty lazy right now when all of the robots are working for us. They don't need vacations or even lunch breaks. They just move around without any senses except for those sensors on their body. They don't need to have a vacation like our real things, real living things. But it works just like a real thing. Some robots, which looks exactly like people, can be substitutes when a person is missing or ill. For example, students in Japan enjoy the lesson with their robot teacher, Saya. This is a very good start for the 21st century, I think. Yeah, I don't know which century we are. For the fourth dimensional of technology, which approve our technology more, like robots. But we shouldn't get lazy just because of them. So thank you for listening all to me. All of these robot things are getting me a bit crazy about them. And I really like this book, all about robots. They have all of the things that you should know about robots. And they also have movies. They can also talk me about movies which contain robots, like Star Wars. Well, thank you for listening again. Don't forget to read this book to know more about robots. They're really great. Bye. See you next time.